Hi everyone, and welcome to an online demonstration video of the Mobiess fire safety software. This is a simplified version of our wider inspections tool Insight, specific to fire safety related data capture surveys and templates like fire door inspections, fire risk assessments and fire compartmentation surveys. Now I'm going to be doing an end-to-end demo showing both the mobile side and the web portal side for reporting. And first of all, we're going to focus on the fire door inspection side of things. Now, our fire door inspection template utilises parts of our full asset management software and treats each door as a unique asset record with support for barcodes, QR codes, NFC tags as the door reference numbers, i.e. FDO1, FDO2, FDO3, etc. That kind of raw number. And treating each door as an asset with a unique reference per building allows for a more accurate fire door register to be maintained. Each door has its own reference, and essentially it enables you to capture accurate data with no duplicates or typos, etc. Reduces that human error there. It is highly effective if you individually mark each door with an asset number and implement asset tags in the form of a scannable QR tag or barcode label. It's not necessary for the software to function, but it's recommended. You do get various benefits with this, such as increased speed and accuracy, more efficient asset data collection, reduction of errors. However, what you can also do is assign each inspection against that particular asset. So over time, on the asset register on the web portal, you can see the history of each individual door. You can drill down into the history and audit trail of each door and each asset. Now I'm going to start a fire door inspection here just to kind of show you. As you can see here, I have some in progress audits, but I'm just going to click the plus icon there and start a new audit. We can assign these audits against a project and a building. And what you can then do, you can then essentially scan the QR tag there as well. So I'm going to just scan the QR tag here. I have a sample one SH03. And then I can go collect some of the attributes for this particular door as well, being the level, the location type. As you can see, there's quite a lot of different options here. So if I just type in boiler, for example, it will just find that relevant room type as well for me. And there's a couple of different types of data entry input types. So pick lists, text boxes, buttons here as well. We can support a variety of them. So as you scroll down, you'd select the resistance, the glazing, the kind of whether it has a letterbox, spile. So you kind of collect some of that initial asset attribute data before you start the checklist just below it. And this kind of asset attribute data is kind of scannable when you re-inspect this door, 3 to 6 months later if there's internet connection there as well. But broadly speaking, you can do the entire inspection and data collection offline. We have kind of full offline functionality within the platform. And as I scroll down here, so I'm just going to type in here, there we go. As I scroll down, you'll see the checklist here. It's a standard 35 to 38 point check, just based off existing feedback and just existing standards that we have. If you do require wider customization, just get in touch with our team and we're happy to discuss that separately. And as you scroll down, essentially I'll just click no for a couple questions there. And what you can do, we can then mandate actions, pictures or notes based off the answer of these questions. Being a good example here being if I click no on question 4 here, it's now told me that I need to log an action and a picture. So here I've just clicked into adding an action and I can then use our pre-populated action function here as well to select the defects and the actions from a pre-configured pick list that is self-manageable by the user. So here I have a couple of different defect options that I'm going to pick. So the lips detaching, I can modify this. So if I click one, I can modify this as well. And then I can set a due date. I can always amend that and then set the risk and probability. And then if I go down and click the available actions, using a similar functionality, it's then now giving you the solution or the kind of remedy for this. So you're actually kind of recommending the actions, for example, as well. So you can select the options, you can modify this as well, and essentially just helps pre-fill that action faster, enables you to log actions kind of with ease, essentially. And what you can also do is add pictures against actions as well. And you can also add pictures against the general question as well, so it doesn't always have to be for an action. If I added a picture here as well, as you can see, you can add pictures, multiple pictures against the question, so it's really not an issue there in terms of evidencing. As you scroll down, similar functionality, as you scroll down, you can hide and show questions based off the answer of a couple of questions as well. For example, question 7 here, it'll enable some questions based off if I answer yes or no as well. And as you scroll down and actually answer this, you'll find that at the end there are a couple of risk and compliance fields for you to fill out as well. If I just quickly fill this out for you, can essentially add an action against any of these, and then as you get to the end, there we go. So we can add a risk rating, priority rating, and the kind of door compliance field as well. So I can essentially just pick that, if kind of your judgment on that. Add any notes as well if needed against questions, and then select the asset condition as well, which is entirely configurable as well if you have your own asset condition grading, and then any additional comments, and then essentially complete that inspection. And what that'll do, that'll just send it from the web all the way over to from the mobile all the way over to the web, and hides it from the device as well. And from there, I'm also going to just run through the FRA and the compartmentation survey quickly, and in a similar fashion, and then afterwards I will show you the web portal as well for reporting, so looking at the asset register as well. So in a similar fashion, you'd click on FRAs, you'd go in either existing ones or start a new one. You can click on the relevant section here and assign it against a project and a building as well. You can select the image of premises to kind of go on the building report as well, the kind of the output report. You can select any dates as well if needed. The expiry date, suggested review date, you can kind of sign this off as well. And as you scroll down, you can see it has some of that basic kind of information, the number of floors, some of that premises information, occupancy information. In a similar fashion, as you get to some of the more text-heavy sections, we can kind of pre-fill some of this text for you as well. So you can, again, modify this text just to kind of help order some of that, so you don't have to manually type this in as well. And again, as you kind of scroll through that, you get to the actual yes, no, and pass-fail questions, which are kind of based off the PAS 79. You can, again, log actions, pictures, notes against any of these questions. So if I log an action here, again, in a similar fashion, you have a list of pre-populated options here as well, portable appliances, etc. And I can click that, amend that where necessary as well, check the due date as well, the impact probability, likelihood and consequence, add pictures, assign it to other users if necessary as well, and then carry on as well. You can add multiple actions against the question as well. So as you kind of scroll down and actually complete this audit, you'll then have the option at the end to essentially do the final likelihood and consequence of the action of the kind of FRA there. So using that kind of standard risk matrix, it displays it quite nicely on the report as well. You can essentially just calculate the risk based off the pick list values here. So as I change these different options, as you can see, the risk here is changing as well. Now that I've done that, I can then complete. It will sign it off, send it over to the web as well. Now finally, we have the compartmentation survey. In a similar fashion, you can go into an audit, start one, assign it to a building, then you can start logging kind of observations in kind of a snagging fashion. So you can start logging the floor, the location, kind of free text there. You can then select the defect, take a photo of the defect as well. You can mark it up if needed by clicking tools, the line width and something like that. You can then select the kind of risk of it, the barrier, fire resistance, and then you essentially select all the relevant information. Again, we can customize this if needed with our wider inspections tool, and you can essentially keep on logging these observations until you've kind of done your survey, and then you complete that and it sends it to the web portal as well. Now the final part of the mobile is you can manage and edit projects and the buildings or the sites that all these audits are managed against, both on the web portal and on the mobile as well. As you can tell here, I have a couple sample projects here. I can actually create one as well if needed. And similar to the buildings here, I can create a building, give it a name, an address, assign it to a project as well for all of these to go against. Now that we've done the mobile side of things, it's time to move to the web portal. As you can see from the web portal now that we're on here, essentially you can see some dashboards, reports, the asset register, and all the output of the data will be on the cloud on the web portal here. As you can see, we have a standard dashboard for fire doors, for fire risk assessments as well, so you can kind of filter between them. And to actually access the asset register to see the fire doors, you just go to the top here and you can see all the relevant information here as well. So I would just click on asset register and I would actually just go to the relevant project and the relevant building as well to see my asset register of doors here as well. So for example, if I switch to and reset the filter here and I go to a different client, a different project, as you can see there's quite a lot of doors here. I'm just going to quickly filter on doors that begin with the door that we did earlier, SH03, there we go, which is against the building, Tudor house. As you can see, we have some relevant information here that we've collected, and we have the SH03, which is the door that we did earlier. Now, if I click on this, I can see the QA status there, and I can go through and view some of the kind of standard attributes, the width, all the glazing, all of that, the pictures that I've taken, if any, and most importantly, drill down into each and every report on this asset. So over time, when you scan that QR code in 3-6 months time, you inspect that asset again. That inspection is essentially assigned to this asset. So over time, you'll be able to view the history of each door. And you'll be able to drill down into each and every report. For example, if I drill down here, it will show me the fire door report for this particular inspection that we've done, right? It was not compliant, but it was low risk, right? And as you can see, as you scroll down, we have some of the attributes there, and then we have any pictures that we've taken, any corrective actions that we've logged. It just shows it in a nice kind of pretty PDF format, right? And there's various ways we can export these reports, which I'll show in a second here as well. And over time, this will be date and time stamped, so the next one might be in April, you know, as you kind of build that register and do that and do all the jobs, it kind of it fills out that information over time. And if I want to view other types of reports, I can go onto the reporting tab. Essentially, this is a way we can kind of do different types of reports here. So I'm just going to go to asset building reports, and do a building-based report. Now, if I click on Tudor House and I click on, let's just give it a larger time frame, for example, and essentially what it does, between this time frame against that building that I've assigned by filling in the filters, it grabs all the door inspections that I've done. This is demo data here, so we'll see how that turns out. It will grab all the door inspections that I've done over time in between those time frames, and output it in like a multi-door report, right? So if I've done a cover page, that will show there, and it just shows me I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a couple of doors here. So it gives you, I've done, 6 of them were non-compliant, 1 of them was compliant, as you can see. So a couple of different ways that it counts the pictures that I've taken as well. So it just gives you kind of some basic information there. And as you scroll down, it then shows you the basic kind of inspections that you've done door by door, kind of in order, right? So it goes door 1, door 2, door 3, etc. as you scroll down. Then at the end, it will show you the photo and action summary as well. So it will show you the action summary, all the actions that you've done, and then you kind of filtered down to a kind of a per door basis, as you can see, kind of per asset. Then it goes on to the relevant audit photographs as well that I've done. So as you can see, just some sample data here as well, and some recent ones that we've taken there as well. As you can obviously save that image, and you can essentially download this as a PDF, and then you can send that on to your client that way. Now, if you don't necessarily need a large building report, there's several other ways we can export fire door data as well. One being an asset export as well, and this is kind of an Excel-based export for all your asset data, essentially exporting the asset register, which again is one of the benefits of using QR codes and asset tags, because you're ensuring that asset register is accurate, the references are accurate, all the data is against the right doors, for example. And if I zoom in for a bit here, as you can see, it just has all the references, all the sample references that I've done, all the kind of relevant data, the last survey date, the resistance, the door heights, the finished leaf, finished frame, has all the relevant actions. Again, we can customize if needed. And what I'll do is just download that to Excel, and then I can manipulate that how I want, send that off to a client, and whoever needs that, right? So they kind of, and if you need to load it into a CAFM system or a larger asset system, you can. So essentially, as you can see, all the relevant information is here. And one of the final other ways we can export data is the corrective action exports. Now, similar to the asset export that you just saw, we can essentially pick the relevant timelines, and then click a few other filters, and it gives us an export of the actions only. As you can see here, it gives us the reference, the location, all the relevant information needed to hand it over, with the description, required action, and the score as well, like the impact and probability, the status, the date reported, any due dates that you set as well. And you can download that to Excel, CSV, PDF, whatever's needed. If you need a kind of a slightly more professional version of it, you can just toggle that on the left hand side here, and it just gives you a slightly more professional version in a PDF format as well. So essentially, there is various ways you can export these reports. It's just a matter of essentially your requirements and how we configure each and every report to suit. And the next stage of this would be looking at some of the fire risk assessments. So if I just quickly drill down into a larger inspection that I've done previously, I can show you what the actual output would look like. Essentially what it does, it just gives you a nice PDF that you can download. As you can see here, as you scroll down, the signature, the front page here as well. You can drill down into the relevant section here. So I go electrical, give me the electrical section. Any actions that I've logged, again, any pictures as well, it will show that as I scroll down. And as I scroll down all the way to the bottom as well, it will show me the risk rating that I've done as well. As I said, it displays it in quite a nice fashion as well, in a nice kind of visual element here. It shows you where kind of in the matrix it would sit, and it gives you a bit of context here, and then it gives you the action summaries like the fire door as well as the photograph summaries as well, any relevant photos you would have taken during this risk assessment. So essentially there's multiple ways of outputting the data. It's just a matter of looking at the relevant report and selecting it and outputting that there. Now, thank you for listening and watching this demo for us. If you have any questions regarding features and functionality, do let us know. We're happy to get in touch, schedule a call, and answer any of your questions. Thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.